Hey guys, I saw this movie last night. I'm sure you've heard about it. It's called The Woman in Black 2: Angel of Death, and it is directed by a man named Tom Harper, and it's the sequel to the 2012 film The Woman in Black starring Daniel Radcliffe, and I loved the movie, by the way. It's probably one of my favorite movies that came out that year, and I remember very first hearing about they were making a sequel, and I was a bit skeptical at first, and I stayed skeptical for a while because this movie could either go two ways. It could either be really bad or really good, and boy was I not surprised. The Woman in Black 2 takes place 40 years after the first one, and it is now World War II in London, and London is having a hard time right now. So two women take a group of orphan children to the house that was in the first one to, get them to safety. When it turns out that they are not all that safe after all. They are, of course, being haunted by the Woman in Black, and how all that stuff goes. Children see her and then they commit suicide, and the whole thing. This movie is exactly what I expected it to be. Exactly. And that's all I'm gonna say. It's a PG-13 horror movie sequel to another recent horror movie, and that's pretty much all it is. And yeah, and it's not a very good one either. I found this movie to be really boring and really short on scares, and it tried to retell the same exact story from the first one. So in other words, it's nothing new. If you've seen the first movie, then you've seen this one pretty much. Just, with different characters that are really not anything interesting at all. There's even like a love subplot between the main chick and this one other dude, which was kind of unnecessary and not needed at all. And it's really nothing else besides just a generic sequel, and that's pretty much how I'm gonna look at this movie for the rest of my life. Like, I don't see myself coming back to this movie at all in the near future because I already know what I'm gonna expect, and it's really nothing new. There's this one creepy-ass kid in the movie named Edward who hasn't spoken a word since the death of his parents, and I thought that part was kind of interesting, but again, it really wasn't necessary. In fact, this whole entire movie is really not necessary at all. It's a very pointless sequel. This is exactly like the last... This is exactly like The Last Exorcism Part 2. It's the exact same thing. I loved the first movie, but then this one's just... It's a pointless sequel. Like, there's no point to it, and it's just a cash grab. They made this movie so they can possibly turn it into a horror franchise and make money off of it, and it's not gonna work, at least for me. Like, I really hope that I don't see any more Woman in Black sequels in the future, unless they bring back Daniel Radcliffe, because he's pretty awesome. But even if they did that, I don't think it would work anyways, and I'm really not looking forward to any other sequels they make in the future. Because I'm just gonna expect the same thing over and over again, and that's pretty much what it is gonna be. I did not find this movie scary at all, and that is not a good thing when you're trying to scare me in a horror movie. The Woman in Black is hardly in this movie. Even, like, the idea of the Woman in Black is hardly in this movie. And there are more false jump scares than actual real jump scares, and when you have more false jump scares, that's a problem. The acting, of course, isn't really that great, and neither is the writing. But one good thing I will say about this movie is that I really like the cinematography and, the whole eerie atmosphere of the movie. And that is exactly why I love the first one, because, the first one had this very eerie atmosphere to it, and I loved it. The atmosphere gave a personality to the movie, and it's really good. Good. But I even have a bit of a problem with that, it's the exact same thing. It's that exact same eerie atmosphere from the first one, and although I do like it, I've already witnessed this eerie atmosphere and cinematography before, in the first one. So yeah, guys, this movie really isn't anything new, and it's exactly what you would expect it to be. Overall, The Woman in Black 2: Angel of Death is another pointless sequel, and there really isn't much to it. It's nothing new, and I'm gonna go ahead and give this film a 2 out of 5. It lacked scares, it lacked a good story, and it even lacked a woman in black, so yeah. And honestly, guys, I'll go ahead and say this before I end this review, but between Annabelle and this movie, I liked Annabelle a whole lot more. I don't know why people are trashing on Annabelle and not trashing on this movie. I barely hear anybody talking about this movie. So yeah, guys, that's my opinion on The Woman in Black 2: Angel of Death. Check it out if you really wish, but believe me, it really isn't anything new, and don't expect too much from it, because it really isn't that good of a scary movie. Alright guys, I'm Jacob Palacio. Do not forget to leave a comment down below on what movie I should review next, and I will see you guys later.